Most people spend their entire lives chasing a higher salary, believing that one more promotion, one more hike, or one more job switch will finally make them rich. Society tells us that a stable job is the safest path to success. Parents push it, schools prepare you for it, and the system rewards you just enough to never question it. But look around. Millions of salaried people work for decades, earn consistently, and still struggle financially. They follow every rule, do everything right, and yet never break free. So the real question isn't how to earn a salary, it's why earning a salary doesn't translate into wealth. This video isn't about hating jobs or shaming employees. It's about exposing a financial illusion that most people are trapped in without realizing it. If salary really made people rich, employees would dominate the world's wealth. But they don't, and there's a reason for that. By the end of this video, you'll understand why salary keeps you comfortable but never powerful, why hard work alone isn't enough, and what actually separates people who stay stuck from those who break out. If you've ever felt that something about the money game doesn't add up, this is for you. The salary illusion. From childhood, we're sold a clean, polished lie: get good marks, get a good degree, get a good job, you're set for life. Salary is marketed like a finish line: stable, respectable, safe. But here's the uncomfortable truth: salary feels rich, but it doesn't make you rich. It only makes you comfortable enough to stop questioning the system. A salary is basically rented time. You don't own the money stream, you're just temporarily allowed to access it as long as you keep showing up, following orders, and staying replaceable. The moment you stop working, the money stops. No work, no income. That's not wealth, that's dependency with better packaging. What makes this illusion powerful is predictability. Monthly credits hit your account, bills get paid, and your brain relaxes. Dopamine says, life is under control. But control is fake here. Inflation keeps eating your purchasing power silently, taxes take a big bite before the money even touches your hands, and lifestyle upgrades quietly absorb whatever raise you get. Net result? Same hamster wheel, higher speed. And here's the brutal math most people ignore. If salary really made people rich, employees would dominate the rich list. But they don't. The richest people don't trade hours for money, they own systems, assets, equity, and leverage. Salary trains you to think small, plan monthly, and measure life in pay cycles. That mindset is the real trap, not the job itself. Time for money is a broken formula. At the core of salary culture is one outdated equation: time equals money. You show up for a fixed number of hours, and in return, you get a fixed amount of cash. Sounds fair on paper, but in real life, it's a dead-end model. Why? Because time is finite. You can't scale 24 hours. You can't duplicate yourself. Once your day is full, your income hits a hard ceiling. This is where the system quietly wins. No matter how skilled you become, how experienced you are, or how much value you create, your earnings are still capped by hours in hierarchy. Want more money? Work longer. But longer hours don't equal exponential growth, they equal burnout. The grind culture glorifies this, but biologically and mentally, it's unsustainable. Even promotions don't fix this. A higher salary usually comes with more responsibility, more stress, and less freedom. You're still selling time, just at a slightly higher rate. It's like upgrading from economy to business class on the same flight that's still going to the same destination. Better seat, same limit. Real wealth works on a different logic. Decouple income from time. Assets don't sleep. Systems don't ask for leaves. Ownership scales. Salary doesn't. As long as your income requires your physical presence every day, you're not building wealth. You're just surviving more comfortably inside a polished cage. Inflation is quietly robbing you. One of the biggest reasons salary will never make you rich is inflation, and the scary part is, it doesn't look like theft. It's silent, gradual, and normalized. Prices don't jump overnight, they creep. Rent rises, fuel rises, education rises, healthcare explodes. But your salary? It crawls, if it moves at all. Most people celebrate a 10% hike like they've won the lottery. But if inflation is running at 6 to 7%, that raise barely gives you real growth. After taxes, you're often worse off than before. On paper you earn more, in reality, your purchasing power shrinks. That's not progress, that's running in place while the ground moves backward. The system is designed this way. Salaries adjust after inflation hits, not before. By the time your increment comes, prices have already adjusted upward. You're always reacting, never leading. Meanwhile, assets, like businesses, equity, and ownership stakes, tend to move with or ahead of inflation. Salary doesn't protect you from inflation, it exposes you to it. This is why middle-class salaried people feel constantly stressed despite earning decent money. The pressure never ends because the goalpost keeps shifting. You're not failing. The model is flawed. If your income doesn't grow faster than inflation automatically, long-term wealth is mathematically impossible. No motivation speech can fix that. Taxes hit salaried people the hardest. If you're on a salary, you're the easiest target for taxation. No escape routes, no flexibility, no timing advantage. Your taxes deducted before you even see your money. It's clean, automated, and brutally efficient. You don't pay tax. You never receive that portion of your income in the first place. Now compare that with how wealth actually moves. Business owners, investors, and asset holders often get paid before tax and then decide how much tax they owe. They can deduct expenses, reinvest profits, defer income, or legally optimize their taxes. Salaried people can't. They're taxed first and asked to manage what's left, basically budgeting crumbs. This creates a structural disadvantage. Two people can earn the same amount on paper, but the salaried person ends up with significantly less usable money. Over decades, this gap compounds massively. Taxes don't just reduce income, they reduce capital formation, your ability to invest, experiment, and take risks. The irony? Salaried people fund the system the most, yet benefit the least from it. You're paying premium taxes while being told to feel secure. But security without control is an illusion. When your income is fully visible, fully traceable, and fully taxed at source, wealth accumulation becomes slow, fragile, and painfully limited. Lifestyle inflation cancels every raise. Here's a pattern almost nobody escapes. Earn more. Spend more. Feel broke again. It's called lifestyle inflation, and salary culture is its biggest enabler. The moment your income increases, expectations upgrade automatically. Better phone, better clothes, better house, better standard. Not because you need them, but because your environment tells you that you should. Salary makes this worse because it arrives on a schedule. Predictable money creates predictable spending habits. EMIs sneak in. Subscriptions multiply. Comfort becomes default. Before you realize it, your fixed expenses rise to match your income. So even after promotions and hikes, your savings rate stays flat, or drops. More effort, same stress. What's wild is that this isn't accidental. The consumer economy depends on salaried people spending consistently. Your job gives you just enough confidence to commit to long-term liabilities, but not enough freedom to exit them. That's why banks love salaried profiles. Stable income equals predictable spender equals reliable debt machine. Real wealth requires resisting this trap. Wealthy people don't upgrade life with every income bump, they upgrade assets first. Salary doesn't encourage that mindset. It rewards short-term comfort over long-term leverage. So raises feel good emotionally, but financially, they often just lock you deeper into the cycle. Salary trains you to think small. Salary doesn't just pay you, it programs you. It forces your brain to operate in short cycles. Monthly income, monthly bills, monthly survival. You start thinking in terms of EMIs, rent dates, and next salary credit. Long-term thinking dies quietly in this loop. When your income is fixed, your imagination becomes fixed too. You don't ask, how can I create 10x value? You ask, will this fit in my budget? Risk starts feeling dangerous, not strategic. Anything uncertain feels irresponsible. That mindset is great for employees, but terrible for wealth creation. Salary culture also rewards obedience over creativity. You're trained to wait for permission, appraisal cycles, approval chains, promotion ladders. Over time, initiative gets replaced by compliance. You stop building things and start maintaining positions. And wealth never comes from maintaining, it comes from creating and owning. The most dangerous part? This thinking feels mature and responsible. Society praises it, but in reality, it keeps people financially small. Wealth requires asymmetric thinking, big bets, leverage, long horizons. A salary keeps your thoughts neatly boxed inside safe limits, and that box is way too small to hold real riches. Job security is a myth. Salary feels safe, but that safety is mostly psychological. People cling to jobs because they believe income is guaranteed. In reality, no job is permanent. Markets shift, companies restructure, tech automates, management changes. Suddenly, stable becomes expendable. And when salary is your only income source, that shock hits hard. The risk is actually concentrated, not reduced. One employer, one paycheck, one decision away from zero. That's not diversification. That's a single point of failure. If a business owner loses one client, they still have others. If an investor sees one asset drop, they rebalance. Salaried people? One termination letter and the cash flow stops completely. What makes this worse is skill stagnation. Many jobs lock people into narrow roles. Over time, your market value depends more on your company than your competence. When you finally need to switch, you realize your experience doesn't transfer cleanly. Salary didn't protect you, it numbed you. Real security doesn't come from a payslip. It comes from multiple income streams, adaptable skills, and ownership. Salary gives the illusion of stability while quietly increasing fragility. That's why a single economic shock can wipe out years of effort for salaried workers overnight. Salary has no upside asymmetry. One brutal limitation of salary is this: your upside is capped, but your downside isn't. You can work harder, stay loyal, overdeliver, and still get a fixed raise or a polite, "we'll review next year." There's no massive reward for exceptional output. Effort and outcome are weakly connected. In contrast, wealth is built on asymmetric upside. A business idea can fail 10 times and succeed once, and that one win can change everything. An asset can compound quietly for years and suddenly explode in value. Salary doesn't allow that. Best case? A steady climb. Worst case? Burnout, layoffs, or irrelevance. The risk-reward ratio is skewed against you. This kills motivation at a deep level. When people realize extra effort doesn't lead to extra reward, they switch to minimum required mode. Not because they're lazy, but because the system doesn't incentivize excellence. Salary turns high-potential people into average performers over time. Wealth favors environments where outcomes scale faster than effort. Salary environments do the opposite. They flatten outcomes. No matter how big your contribution, the ceiling stays low. And without upside asymmetry, getting rich isn't just unlikely, it's structurally blocked.